My name is Candace Spencer. I'm a Double Gator. I got my Bachelor of Arts from University of Florida in Environmental Science and my law degree, a certificate in Environmental and Land Use Law from UF. I am an attorney currently doing policy work here in Washington, D.C. I work with the National Sustainable Agriculture Coalition, and my work focuses on crop insurance, commodities, and livestock. In my degree program in undergrad, I was focused on the environment generally, but I really was interested in the section on the intersection of environment, people, and society. And so my senior year of college, I was an ambassador for the College of Ag and Life Sciences at UF. And we were volunteering to help out with the Hunger University campaign. At that time, it was a mobile installation that was going around to different campuses in the US to educate college students about hunger. And so I didn't know a lot about the topic at all. And it was really shocking to me to learn that not only do 1 in 6 adults go hungry every day, but 1 in 6 kids, or 1 in 5 adults, 1 in 6 kids go hungry every day. At the same time, I was in a food policy class and learning about how food interacts in our society and the different roles that it plays, and also the injustice and inequity of the food system. And that combination of things really is what drew me into food policy, into food work. I was already going to law school, and so thankfully I had the opportunity to focus on that more in law school with agricultural law classes, with some food justice projects I was able to do, and that interest has carried me forward into my current work. I am most interested in food justice, remedying food apartheid, and Black farmland ownership, because food is so vital to life and so vital to the continuation of life. The food system and the structure of it shows like whose lives are valued, and it tends to be that communities of color and low-income communities are not valued in our food system. And I see a huge problem with that, and that's something I really want to work on. Food sovereignty and the ability to own your own food and to control what food and how much you consume is really vital to the community's stability and health and well-being. And that goes and ties into farmland ownership as well. Like, who is growing food, who's producing food? Is it done in a just manner? And so that I want to see the resurgence of that community tie and community ownership of land in the Black community in particular, and in communities, all communities equally. So it's definitely a multifaceted solution. Some of the first things that come to mind for me are remedying discrimination within the USDA, the US Department of Agriculture. That has been documented, that historic discrimination. There have been lawsuits that Black farmers have won. The USDA has had several lawsuits against them, actually, by Black farmers, Hispanic farmers, and by women as well. And so because the USDA is such a huge part of distributing federal aid to farmers, remedying discrimination and fairness within their own practices is definitely one step. Without that, access to loans, to government programs that can enable farmers to be successful for like farming equipment, for like resources, for research that can be helpful for whatever you're growing, that access isn't equally distributed and equally available. So that would be one step. Working on heirs property ownership among Black farmland owners, something that the Farm Bill actually has addressed and has the opportunity to work on in the next few years until the next Farm Bill. But understanding that fractionated land ownership has been a big part of dispossessing Black people from their land, and especially Black farmland. And so working on programs that address heirs property issues would be helpful, and definitely providing resources to communities to take ownership of their own land. So local food, there's a federal program my colleague works on. It's like farmers market, local food promotion program, things like that are federal programs going specifically to communities to increase their own self-reliance on their own community food system and growing food within their community and being able to distribute that food within their community as well. So my job is entirely food policy. The National Sustainable Ag Coalition, or NSAC, is a national coalition of members, and we as the staff of the organization advocate for federal policy reform based on what our members have decided is a priority. So we're currently in like farm bill implementation phase. And so we're working on making suggestions to the USDA as far as how to implement certain programs, as far as how to revise certain programs, how to update certain things and make them more farmer friendly and more easy to access for certain kinds of communities that don't have access. It's my job is entirely that, and because I focus on like crop insurance, commodities, and livestock competition, things that probably don't necessarily seem vital to agriculture, but they are. Crop insurance is something that is necessary for farmers. It's a good part of the safety net to make sure they can farm again if they have a bad year for weather or finances or whatever. So making sure those programs are available, they're easy to access, they actually work for farmers is a big part of what I do. And so that's all that we do on my job is federal food policy. So as I mentioned, we're in implementation phase. So this is after the Farm Bill, which was passed in December. All the programs that it funded, that it created, they now have to be put into place. And so, for instance, for crop insurance, there's something called the Whole Farm Revenue Protection Program. So we were advocating for changes to that program to make it more farmer friendly. So working on that. There is an upcoming rule coming out from the USDA on a certain topic within my area that I'm working on, collaborating with one of our members on a campaign to make sure that people are aware of this rule and make sure we're ready to respond and submit comments when the rule does come out. And then informing people about all of these things. So writing blogs for our website that anybody can read to update people on what's going on. I want to see equity and sovereignty in the food system. I want to see equity in the kinds of food that's being produced, the amounts, who that food is going to, who is producing it, who has access to healthy and nutritious and culturally relevant foods. I want to see equity across all aspects of the food system. That's what I want to see change, and that is definitely my hope for the future.